Good Wednesday evening and a happy Halloween to all of our friends in Tallahassee and beyond. Welcome to our October 31st edition of FSU Weather. I'm meteorologist Jay Karstens.
And I'm student meteorologist Brittany Bowman. And we're going to see really great conditions for trick-or-treating tonight. Pretty much ideal conditions, clear skies, nice cool temperatures, but tomorrow will be a different story. Yeah,
we're going to have a couple of desks later on. We're going to be kind of outlining to you guys once again as fall severe season is actually kind of getting going around here. We have the threat of some severe weather tomorrow night. We'll have more details on that later in the show. But as you said before, really a fantastic day around Tallahassee today, and that continues for the rest of the night.
Yeah, plenty of events going on around tonight, whether you're taking the kids trick-or-treating or going out to some event. It's going to be really good conditions, so you don't have to worry about sweating in your Halloween costume or being way too cold in your Halloween costume. So tonight's a perfect night.
Yeah, though we are continuing our trend of above average temperatures in terms of Halloween around here, we're saying goodbye to what is going to go down as our 6th warmest October on record here in Tallahassee, and really we've had a few straight 80-degree days to close off the month, so that warmth has been sticking around a little bit, but we'll see those cooler temperatures also arriving as we work into the weekend.
Yeah, some cooler temperatures to start November, and I was just saying, I can't believe it's already November. October flew by, but thankfully we'll have those cooler temperatures to start off the month of November here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it'll really hit you once that time changes on Saturday. I just realized that on my walk to campus this morning, and then I realized I get an extra hour of sleep.
Yes, that's the most exciting thing. In the spring, when our clocks go forward, I'm not too excited about it. But for now, we're going to send things over to Dylan with a look at our overview.
Thanks, guys. Well, it looks like I got spooked off camera and we spooked a little bit of the clouds away, but those are going to come back into our area as we get into tonight. Right now, though, it's reading mostly sunny because we see those clearer skies, just a few cloud or two, dropping down from that 80-degree temperature we saw last hour, starting to get back into those 70s, and we're going to stick around those temperatures for just a while as we get into tomorrow and through the rest of the week. Winds coming out of the south-southeast indicating that a frontal system, it's on its way. We're going to start to see the moisture come off the Gulf ahead of that front. And as we look at our radar, relatively clear now. The front doesn't seem like it's on here. Well, unfortunately, it's farther out west, and it's going to start making its way eastward as we go into tonight and into tomorrow and even into Friday. And looking at your forecast for trick-or-treating tonight, we're staying a little bit warmer than we saw last night. We got down to 51 degrees. Well, tonight we're only going to get down to 61 degrees. But it's not too bad for trick-or-treating. 61 degrees and a little bit of clouds. Hey, that's not too bad. It's not super windy either. Only 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, though, that's when you're going to see a different kind of a story. You're going to start to see clouds in the morning and rain in the afternoon. Most of the showers coming through in the evening tomorrow, and we do have some high winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour. And again, another bit of a warm one as well. And looking at your weekend, you do have another day of rain on Friday as that frontal system moves eastward and bringing 99% chance of rain, but then clearing out and cooling off drastically as we get into Saturday. 73 degrees and 70 degrees as your highs on Saturday and Sunday. Coming up on your show, we're going to talk about the severe weather threat for Thursday and Friday and the cool temperatures ahead. But now let's send it over to Brittany with the local one.
Thanks, Dylan. Let's take a look at our sunset cam. Just a beautiful night once again, just like we saw last night. And you can see as that sun goes down, clear skies. And those clear skies are going to continue throughout the night, and we'll see clouds start to increase tomorrow. But for now, 79 degrees, still under those clear skies. And as Dylan just said, those winds coming out of the south-southeast indicating that front is on its way. Currently across the area, pretty similar conditions, 81 in Quincy, 79 in Thomasville, and 77 over in Valdosta. We'll keep these warm temperatures today, but when that rain moves in with that front coming, we'll see those temperatures cool down. There's those wind speeds coming out of the south, 9 miles per hour in Tallahassee, 8 down in Apalachicola, and out of the south also in Bainbridge at 6 miles per hour. We're starting to get more moisture with that wind coming from the south, but on the radar, not much to talk about. Not a cloud in the sky in the Big Bend and no rain, but you can start to see those clouds start to making their way over from the west, and that's that front that will be coming in tomorrow. But zooming in, still nothing, and these conditions will continue for the night and allow a very great night to go trick-or-treating for Halloween. Looking ahead, you'll see those chances of scattered showers and thunderstorms start to increase in the morning hours of Thursday and into Thursday night. And look off to the west, there's that first line of storms we'll get tomorrow night around those early or late evening hours of Thursday. And things will start to slow down, but don't let your guard down because things will pick right back up Friday morning. We'll have that second line of severe weather moving through Friday late morning into Friday early afternoon. And because of that, we're under that slight risk of severe weather, so definitely stay weather aware tomorrow. Our biggest threat is going to be those gusty winds and also heavy rain and possibly frequent lightning. So make sure you have a way to stay aware. But for tonight in Tally, 61 degrees, we'll start to see those clouds increase and that wind still coming out of the south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for your Thursday, in the morning, those clouds are definitely going to increase, and going into the afternoon, that's when we'll see those chance of scattered storms and showers ahead of the front, and the wind's going to pick up out of the south at 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll see temperatures try to reach 80 degrees. For your marine forecast, not a great day. 78 over in the water, and that wind's really gusty, 20 to 25 knots over the water, and that's leaving for choppy seas 6 to 8 feet. So there's a small craft advisory in effect, so definitely not an ideal boating day for tomorrow. Looking ahead at the week, there's that chance of rain in the morning, 50% into the afternoon. That will increase, and storms and showers will start back up again into Friday morning and afternoon. But look at Saturday. A beautiful day, sunny skies, that high of 70, and we get an extra hour of sleep. Sunday, sunny and 75 degrees, but we will see those rain chances start to increase into next week. But for now, I'm going to send it off to Michael with a look at the southeast.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany. It was another nice day across most of the southeast, but warmer compared to the last few days. You can see 81 degrees out towards Montgomery right now, 77 in Shreveport, and 80 with cloudy conditions in New Orleans. Dew points are higher compared to this time yesterday. The moisture is starting to rebound ahead of this front, still situated back towards Texas and Oklahoma. So it's a little bit higher out towards Atlanta and Montgomery, with 61 degree dew point in Montgomery and 56 degree dew point in Atlanta, with higher dew points out towards Shreveport and New Orleans that are closer to the front, 67 in Shreveport and 71 out towards New Orleans. It's all due to these winds starting to shift ahead of this front, becoming easterly into southerly the closer you get to this front out towards Texas. Pretty breezy southerly winds in New Orleans, 15 miles per hour, with some southeasterly winds also in Tallahassee, a little less at 7 miles per hour. Again, it's all the changes are happening because of this front starting to get closer towards the southeast. Still dry air out towards the eastern section of the southeast, with high pressure remaining in control for now, but then out towards western Louisiana and Texas, the moisture and the lift is much more prevalent, and so you're getting those showers and some severe thunderstorms down towards southern Texas. We're going to zoom into that right here. You can see this yellow box. That's a tornado watch in effect for a lot of eastern Texas and into central Arkansas. And then down towards Houston, you see that, and just north of Houston, one red box. That's a tornado warning in effect, with a lot of lightning associated with that storm as well. Now, we are expecting severe weather going into nighttime hours in Houston and that I-10 corridor out towards New Orleans, so we have an enhanced risk in that region. So the severe thunderstorms are more likely in that region, a little bit less likely when you go into the yellow, which is a slight risk, and then a little bit less likely in the green, which is a marginal risk. So that's going into tonight, into very early tomorrow morning. And then as we head into tomorrow, that severe threat does shift to the east. The further west you are of Tallahassee, the higher severe threat will be. That's because you have the access to the daytime heating that will allow those showers and thunderstorms to be more strong strong in terms of severe limits. And then once you get east of Tallahassee, you'll start to lose the daytime heating as those storms move through after sunset. So the severe activity is going to be less east of Tallahassee. That's what our next 24 hours show. That line you saw out towards Texas becomes more of a squall line. And so this is going to be mainly a damaging wind threat for a lot of the southeast, going up to New Orleans and Jackson and eventually into Montgomery. But notice the time when once we start to get into around sunset, that line starts to lose its oomph. And so we're not expecting much of a severe threat in Tallahassee and in Valdosta. But still, there's a threat nevertheless, so you just want to stay weather aware going into tomorrow evening. And then another line starts to develop west of Tallahassee. That's the main cold front going into Friday. So for tonight, you can see a little bit cooler in Tallahassee. And then going into tomorrow, warmer ahead of the front with some rain-cooled air back towards Jackson and Montgomery. So we're going to send it back to the desk with Brittany and Jake.
Thanks, Michael. Now, with the threat of severe weather, we want to talk about, the difference between a watch and a warning and whatnot, and things to prepare and how to be weather aware.
Yeah, sometimes all those colors in those maps can be a little bit disorienting, so we'll walk you through the process here. We're lucky to have a really good relationship with the National Weather Service office upstairs, and a couple years ago I was actually able to take a class where we kind of went directly into the minds of the Weather Service. Their mentality here is one of basically a ready, set, go process, where they're going to issue outlooks days out in advance. That's that yellow shading that you see over the Tallahassee area a couple days out, in our case being the day 2 slight risk sort of thing that they'll be mentioning, Michael and Dylan, at the next desk. After that,
and we got to pay attention to the watches and warnings that we could possibly see as this line of storms makes its way. When we get those cold fronts, especially in the fall into the winter season, those are things to be aware of, those gusty winds, lightning, and possibly some isolated tornadoes. But for tomorrow, our main threat is going to be those gusty winds.
Yeah, exactly. So when we actually get to these storms rolling into our area later on tomorrow night, that's when we're going to start to see the possibility of watches being issued by the Storm Prediction Center. So that's going to be basically the conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms or tornadoes, depending on which way the Storm Prediction Center leans with that. Then when those conditions actually start to happen in some counties, those individual weather forecast offices will be the ones to issue the warnings, which is the time to really take action.
Yeah, I kind of think warning, 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 like when you see a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, that's when it's happening, and that's when you really need to be paying attention and get to your safe location. So for a warning, the event is occurring. You need to take action immediately, and that's to save property and possibly even lives.
Exactly. So keep an eye on that graphic. Really, if you want to pause the video and kind of digest that a little bit, we'll keep that up for you guys. For now, though, we're going to go ahead and take things out to the wall here, where Dylan's going to have our second local forecast for the night.
Thank you very much. As we look at the week ahead, though, we're seeing a lot of rain conditions that are coming with this frontal system, bringing the 90% chance of rain as we get into tomorrow and even into Friday with the 99% chance of rain. We're going to start to see cooling back after that front moves its way through, and we're seeing clear conditions after that. Current conditions, though, around, we're still seeing those 80s in our area. Winds light for now, but those are going to start to pick up as we get into tonight and into tomorrow as well. Staying relatively clear throughout the entirety of the area. Very, very warm. We're seeing these 80s still that we've been seeing the last couple of days. A lot of sun heating us up throughout much of the area. And that's going to continue tonight. And our dew points are relatively high as well, as we've seen these southerly winds bringing in a bit of moisture into our area ahead of this front. So those two combined are going to leave for a little bit of possibility of some severe weather. We have a bit more moisture tomorrow. We're not going to have as much warm temperatures that we've been seeing the last couple of days due to these cloud cover coming in tomorrow. Looking at our radar right now, clear as we look at Tallahassee. Zooming out farther west, though, this is the big story we've been talking about. This is the frontal system that will start to make its way eastward and collapse as it starts to go into our area. So we're going to see one line of storms start to move through into Thursday night, and this is the first line of storms, really kind of falling apart the farther it goes eastward. It's not very strong, but it is strong the farther you go west. It depends. This is only a prediction of what the radar could look like at 7 o'clock tomorrow. But as we go in through the night, it starts to fall apart, and we've seen the first line of storms, and you think, oh, we're all clear. Nope, there's another line of storms coming right behind it on Friday as the frontal system starts to reinvigorate, and we see strong storms as well. Again, this is not an actual prediction of where these are going to be. This is a general idea, and you can get the idea that there is another strong storms coming in Friday afternoon, starting to make its way through Tallahassee. And with those strong storms tomorrow night, that's why we are under a slight risk. The farther you go westward, the more defined and the more organized the feature is, but the farther you go eastward, you have a marginal risk, and Michael and I will explain the difference between the two on the desk. And then going into your week tomorrow, you're going to see the rain chances pick up, but we're not saying as warm. We only get to about 79 degrees at 1 o'clock, but then after that, we're going to start cooling down as this cloud cover comes back, and then rain chances really peaking at 8, 7, 9 o'clock tomorrow. And then into your week ahead, you have those rain chances tomorrow, as we talked about. Again, the next line of storms coming in on Friday as well with a 99% chance of rain. But then we start to see that cool down. We really see getting back into the 70s as our highs, into the 40s as our lows. But right now, I'm going to send it over to Jake with a national look.
All right, thanks, Dylan. The southeast isn't the only area really getting in on some of that weather action, so we'll break this down as we go through the rest of the next 3 minutes or so here. Starting off with a look at our current temperatures across the country, you really see the well-defined line here between where the rain is and where things have really started to dry out, say in parts of Texas especially, where you see this well-defined line here between these rain-cooled areas in central Texas at 55 degrees. Some of those areas off to the east not seeing quite as much of that rainfall just yet, but those temperatures getting closer to the 80-degree mark. And that moisture also paints a very similar picture. The dew point values getting close to 70 degrees, even exceeding it in some spots like New Orleans at 71, San Antonio down over at 69 degrees, and even some of this moisture funneling into the Tennessee Valley, even parts of the mid-Atlantic, where some of those dew point values as we go towards November still getting into those 50s, say like in Washington, D.C. or so. This is all lined up right along a frontal system expanding from, say, Texas up through the Ohio Valley and even into parts of Ontario and Quebec in Canada. So some pretty consistent rainfall falling all the way from New England all the way down through the southern plains near the Rio Grande. We zoom into the northeastern United States here, even seeing some snowfall as you work in towards parts of Maine, but consistent light to moderate rainfall all the way down through Cincinnati and further to the southwest, which has helped to prompt some flooding concerns in areas like, say, Buffalo, Cleveland, down through Columbus and Cincinnati, some of the bigger metro areas in the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley, as well as some potential river flooding concerns and even some severe weather in parts of Kentucky, not too far from the Louisville metro. So again, we'll zoom back out to that national radar right about now, and we will zoom in here into the southern plains, which is really the big area for our rainfall as of now. The biggest metro getting impacted is currently Dallas, with rain starting to also work into the Little Rock area. Some discrete cells are firing up out ahead of this stalled out front, which is helping to prompt a little bit of that severe weather concern here, as you see in these weather alerts right about now. Again, this yellow area is the tornado watch extending through parts of Arkansas, the Arklatex really, all the way down towards Houston, and some active tornado warnings here in red, including northeastern Texas and not too far from College Station in the western portion of Houston. And with all this rainfall, flooding is again still a concern for some of the rivers, as you see in those light green shadings throughout a large chunk really of eastern Texas. And again, that rainfall accumulation shows you just that. Rainfall amounts getting towards 4 inches in just the last 3 hours in some of these areas as you go just south of Dallas, heading down towards, say, Waco and those areas along those lines here. And a widespread area of Texas and even all the way up through, say, southern Missouri seeing rainfall in excess of an inch over the last 3 hours or so. And again, as we work through the rest of the night, the severe weather will continue to be a concern and move its way off to the east. So parts of even Mississippi are going to be in on that enhanced level 3 out of 5 risk from the Storm Prediction Center. And again, at the desk, we'll outline exactly what we mean by a slight risk of severe weather here for Tallahassee, which is mainly going to be tomorrow night. Other parts of the Florida Panhandle will be seeing that action a little bit earlier as we work through the remainder of the day tomorrow. As for tonight's forecast, the cooler temperature is really profound in the western half of the country, but that warmth and moisture sticking around in the southeast, 61 degrees in Memphis. And as I step off to the side here, some partly cloudy skies sticking around in Tallahassee with a warmer than average night to look forward to. It's 63 for us, a perfect trick-or-treating night, of course, for all of you guys here in Tally. And as for tomorrow, again, that warmth mostly confined to the eastern seaboard, 71 degrees in Atlanta, but the storm sticking around. And again, that severe threat moves its way on east. So to talk a bit more about that now, we got Michael and Dylan at the desk.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. So with the severe weather threat we were outlining, we're just going to give a little bit more in depth in terms of what we're expecting tomorrow.
Yeah, we're under a slight risk here in Tallahassee, and most counties westward are under that slight risk tomorrow, and then we're under a marginal risk for Friday.
Yeah, the slight risk is for the first round well ahead of the cold front, and then the marginal risk is for the actual cold front itself moving through Tallahassee tomorrow.
Yeah.
On Friday, sorry.
On Friday, right.
Yeah.
For the slight risk, you have scattered severe thunderstorms. Those are short-lived, but there are the possibility of severe thunderstorms with that slight risk.
Yeah, with all these different severe categories, just think about it as probabilities. When you have a slight risk, you have a higher probability of having severe weather compared to a marginal risk, where the probability is just a little lower.
Yeah, and when we go into marginal, you're not going to see as strong storms, and they're much more isolated and less lived as well. But there is the possibility for a tornado or two with both areas of risk, so it's something to be aware of.
Yeah, so with all these severe weather we're expecting, we just want to give you a refresher on what to do when a severe thunderstorm moves through your area. So, of course, the first thing, when thunder roars, go indoors.
Yeah, definitely. The other idea is to move indoors or move into a car, something where you're protected and safe from the elements outside. Debris is always an issue with these strong winds that we're expecting tomorrow.
Yeah, not only just moving indoors, but also staying away from windows as well, in case flying debris goes into a window and it can cause some damage.
Yeah, it's good to have a safe room that you've designated in your house or in your office. It's just something to be aware of and want to make sure you have an area if something does go wrong and a tornado warning is issued, you have some preparations.
Yeah, and so since we have lightning with these storms as well, you don't want to use anything connected to the ground, like landlines, or you don't want to use a shower during a thunderstorm because water is very conductive to lightning as well.
Yeah, but for more information on the local or the segment, let's send it over to the wall.
Thanks, guys. And while severe weather is the topic for tomorrow, thankfully right now, Florida is looking really nice for Halloween. Mostly sunny skies around the state, 79 degrees in Tallahassee, 83 in Tampa, and sunny skies and 82 down in Key West. And these conditions will continue into the night. Dew points, they're feeling definitely more muggier than they felt yesterday. 66-degree dew point in Tallahassee, 60 in Orlando, and a 59-degree dew point in Tampa. And with that cold front approaching, we're getting more moisture into the area. Therefore, it feels more humid today than it did yesterday. Right now, still not a cloud really in the sky across the state of Florida and no rain in sight. But when you look west, you'll start to see that cold front approaching. So thankfully for your Halloween night, these conditions will continue, but we will have to keep our eye out for that severe weather tomorrow. Zooming into South Florida, very nice conditions. And for tomorrow, we'll see another very nice day in South Florida. It's 86 degrees in Naples, 86 in Key West, and 84 in Fort Lauderdale with some passing clouds. When we move up the state of Florida into central portions, similar conditions, no clouds, no rain. And for tomorrow, they're going to see similar conditions as well. 87 degrees in Orlando, 86 for Vero Beach, and 85 for Cocoa Beach. So it seems like a nice beach day over there. Moving up into North Florida around areas of Jacksonville, again, nothing on the radar to talk about. And tomorrow, they won't see any of that rain quite yet. 84 for St. Augustine and 85 for Gainesville, as well as 84 for Live Oak. When we move into the Panhandle, that's a different story. Right now, conditions are clear, maybe some spotty showers trying to make their way onshore, but tomorrow they have that threat for severe weather, only reaching into the upper 70s in most locations, 77 degrees for Pensacola, as well as Gulf Shores, and those chances of severe storms and weather will move in tomorrow night and keep moving west into Tallahassee. So we will definitely keep our eyes on that. Looking ahead to the next 24 hours, you can see just the late morning hours of Thursday, that strong line of showers and storms starts to make its way into the Panhandle. Going into the afternoon and those evening hours, you'll see it start to make its way into the Tallahassee area. Now, you can't let your guard down. As we go into the night, things will calm down, but look, Friday around lunchtime, another strong line is expected to move through the area. So you want to be aware tomorrow night and into Friday. But things will clear out into late Friday, and we'll see that sun start to make its way back or for the weekend. But for tonight, 63 degrees in Tallahassee, 61 in Jacksonville with those clear skies, really nice conditions for trick-or-treating, 64 in Orlando, and warmer down South Florida, 78 degrees for the Keys and 74 for Miami. Now I'm going to pass it over to Michael with the last look at our local.
Yeah, thanks, Brittany. It was a great Halloween out there today. I honestly loved it, and we're having a great end to our Halloween as well. Look at this nice sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium, but it was a toasty one out there, especially for me. I was in that Minion costume the entire day. But right now, 79 degrees, mostly sunny skies, as you see by the camera looking over Doak Campbell Stadium. And it's going to be a great night for all those trick-or-treaters out there, and cooler compared to the afternoon, so you won't be sweating in your costumes. Satellite and radar, we still have high pressure and control over the eastern sections of the southeast. So again, trick-or-treating tonight is going to be absolutely perfect. It all changes as we go into tomorrow morning, all because of this front we've been talking about the entire show, right now situated in central Texas. That will start to be moving its way east as we head into tonight and into tomorrow. However, currently, again, it is perfect outside once again. 79 degrees, mostly sunny skies in Tallahassee. Sunny skies up towards Thomasville, also at 79 degrees, and 81 in Quincy with sunny skies. Dew points, again, with that front in Texas, the moisture is starting to return here in the Big Bend region. A little bit lower in the eastern sections of our viewing region because the dry air is still holding on there for now, but a little bit more humid the further west you go. You're close, a little bit closer to that front, so 66-degree dew point in Tallahassee, 63 in Quincy. The reason why the dew points are a little bit higher, the winds are shifting. They were northeasterly and easterly the last few days and now becoming southerly, bringing that moisture from the Gulf just giving a little bit moisture for our region, and that's going to help our severe weather threat going into tomorrow evening. However, for tonight, for all the trick-or-treaters out there, you won't have to be sweating in your costumes. It's going to be absolutely ideal. 63 in Tallahassee, 61 in Quincy. Warmer down towards the coast with the middle 60s. A little bit warmer compared to the last few nights just because the moisture, again, is increasing ahead of that front. But if you want to head out on the boat tomorrow, not a good day. We do have a small craft advisory in effect due to the very choppy seas with the southerly winds. Kicking up very quickly ahead of that front. 78 degrees with that thunderstorm threat in the afternoon. Now for your Thursday forecast, the morning is going to be fine. Just increase of clouds due to the rain ahead of the front. But then that's when we start to get the thunderstorms earlier the further west you are in our region. So like in Panama City, it's going to be in the early afternoon and to the early evening hours here in Tallahassee. 80 degrees is your high for tomorrow. Again, we do have a margin of risk. This is for the first round on Thursday with the line well ahead of the cold front. So the risk is higher in Panama City, a little bit lower in Tallahassee, and then a little bit lower in Valdosta. It's all because of the timing due to it being in the evening hours in Valdosta compared to the early afternoon in Panama City. That's where our next 24-hour forecast show. We're going to get into this one more time in our final death, but let's fast forward to our 7-day forecast showing you after the front moves through, the weekend's looking perfect. But finally, don't forget to move your clock back Saturday evening into Sunday morning. Let's send it back to the desk. Oh yeah, I'm actually sending it back to the desk with Dylan. Sorry about that.
Are you gonna leave me here all by myself? I mean, I could talk
you know what?
all by myself. But
I also did the same thing to you last week, so
that's completely fine.
Yeah.
We have been talking about the severe threat in Tallahassee. It is in Leon County, almost all of Leon County, except a little sliver of the east part, the northeast part, and McCullough County, everywhere westward under that slight risk tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's all about the timing. Like in places like Panama City, that line is moving through to the early afternoon. That's when you get the most instability. So that's why the severe weather threat is highest in Panama City. But then in Tallahassee, it's more of an evening into after sunset. So that's when the threat is lower.
Yeah, definitely. And you also have to, the biggest threat with this lines of storms that are coming through tomorrow and Friday are the winds are the biggest threat.
Yeah, and we want to re-emphasize that we're expecting 2 rounds. One Thursday evening, that's the main line well ahead of the front, and then the actual front itself moving through late Friday morning into the early afternoon hours.
Yeah, but as we go into tonight, not bad conditions, as you said, for Halloween. Just getting the last little bit of warmth today and tomorrow, seeing those 80s sticking around just for a little bit.
Yeah, Thursday morning's going to be fine. So if you want to do anything in terms of shopping or anything in the morning's going to be fine. It's the afternoon we're worried about.
Yeah, make sure you have that raincoat with you and you're weather aware both Thursday and Friday because those are your highest chances of rain.
Yeah, but once the front moves through Friday evening, cooler air, look at those 40s Saturday morning and Sunday morning.
Very cold for Saturday and Sunday morning. Honestly, going to need a bit of hot chocolate if you ask me.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter and on Facebook.
We'll be here tomorrow with your updates on the severe weather moving through tomorrow evening and into Friday as well.
Yeah, and we're also, you're watching us live on YouTube. There's the YouTube URL.
And
we always do that.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather as well.
Yeah, so again, we still have to watch the severe weather threat going into tomorrow and into Friday. But the weekend's looking nice.
Weekend's not looking bad. Look, you got to deal with a bit of rain and a bit of severe weather. But for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith.
And I'm student meteorologist Michael Onden. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.